talk say irita kolona lojiape. Say na the good thing we will jam for road. Now it make us get little delay, but notwithstanding, as we dey take do engineer Debo don dey here to take us through the 2022 real estate review. Wetin be those things wey happen 2022? It go encapsulate everything for us. Come even, if possible, give us this little speculation into wetin fit happen for 2023. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. The floor is yours.
Yes, so good morning, viewers. Thank you. So today, we'll be reviewing the real estate market in 2022. What happened? I think if you go back to when we were predicting what would likely happen in 2022, I mean, if you review that session, we had it at the beginning of the year, or I think at the end of 2021. We said, watch out for price hike. You remember?
Okay.
We said, watch out for price hike, both in terms of purchase and in rentals. I want to ask you, viewers out there, have you this year, did you get rent review?
I get hike.
You got
100,000.
I'm telling you.
You can't be like all of them do meeting for that 100,000.
I doubt if there will be anyone that didn't get rent review this year. Your landlord probably reviewed late last year.
He added, yes, late last year for some people. But most of my friends, everybody in flats, it be like say all of them, they do meetings saying that 100 they must put. And if you beg to 50, they will say no. 100, some 200, but the one way common 100.
So I mean, price hike happened because of inflation. Because things also went up. Building material, another thing that happened was building material prices went up also this year. Even from the astronomical height of last year, it still went up also this year. So you can't really say that won't happen. So we had price hike in terms of purchases and rentals, both commercial and residential real estate. That happened. Okay? That happened. Also, what happened this year, there were more supplies in the market though, as in a lot of properties came into the market. People still built this year. Yeah. Residential properties, new residential properties, more came into the market, I must say, maybe more than last year. Yes. Okay. More than last year. Reason is because after COVID last year, a lot of developers were kind of watching the market and trying to know where prices are going before they continue their project or before they start a new project. Yeah. But since it was clear that the way everything was going was up and high up, you know, people still started or completed the project that were ongoing, you know. So a number of properties came into the market this year in terms of supply, both residential and also commercial. So that also happened. I think also that a lot of people moved from where they used to stay to where they can now afford this year.
From where they used to stay?
Yes. What do I mean by that? There are reports reaching us confirm the fact that a lot of people started moving into the fringes of town. You know, so people, properties in Mowe, for example, if you take Lagos, properties in the neighborhoods of Ibafo, Mowe, Arepo, Badagry, Okokomaiko, you know, Agbara,
Ojo,
Ikorodu, you know, like that, Ojo, received more tenants this year from people moving from some city centers.
Wow.
You know, yes. Wow. People moving from some city centers who moved into Ikorodu, who moved out into Ibafo, Mowe, Arepo.
At least I hear more of Mowe this year.
Yeah, so that because their rents is more affordable, not perceived. It's actually more affordable. It's cheaper. So because once price hike was happening, rental increases were happening in city centers. It was also happening in those areas, but at least if I was paying, let's say, 1 million naira, and my landlord decided to increase the rent to 1.5, for example, I might have to move to a Mowe where I'll be paying even a bit less than 1 million.
You'll be paying 750 or 800.
Less than 1 million where I stay, and it will make it more affordable. The remaining money, my reasoning will be that it will help me in the commuting challenge that I will now have to face. So that happened also this year. Viewers, you can call in to let us know what happened to you in the real estate market this year. Another thing that happened.
We can't write out the issue of building collapse too, sir.
Yes, that's what I wanted to actually say next.
The issue of building collapse, that one being rock.
We still experience that this year, unfortunately. You know, people still died in some of the collapse, unfortunately. We hope that there will be more to address that. We know that for City of Lagos, for example, the commissioner also changed this year. Town planning commissioner changed. Okay, a new one was brought in following the last collapse that happened, you know, or the last reported collapse that happened. So that happened, right? Also, tech, the introduction of tech into properties, into real estate, I mean, got a boost this year, serious boost, such that more applications came into the market, how people would search for houses, how people would pay for houses, how people would buy building materials. I mean, a number of things, how people will manage their estates in terms of paying for power, paying for dues, and managing the account. You know, tech, a number of products came into the market this year, and they received funding.
Oh.
Yeah, a good number of them also received significant funding. I was still reading in the papers, in the news papers. When last did I read papers? In the news, you know, just earlier today about another prop tech company that got some injection of funds, raised some money. You know, I think last 2 weeks it was the same one prop tech company that I also know raised some money, and a number of them like that. So prop tech came into the market. Virtual reality also moved in a lot into real estate this year. So people now inspect wearing Google. They don't have to go to sites, you know, physically. They can just experiential marketing or expression style. Yeah, 3D expression and all of that. You know, all of those virtual realities came in, and also virtual real estate.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a lot of virtual real estate. Yes, virtual real estate. You know, people are buying in metaverse. People are buying properties in virtual spaces, living next to their celebrities of their dreams, or buying and selling land. You know, I mean, metaverse happened. NFT. You know, in the real estate space. You know, so all of this came up. I mean,
so I want to also quickly ask, before we go on this break, waiting the real estate, waiting be their fate, or how their fate take be as regards the stock market this year. I want to believe they're also being quoted on the stock market.
Okay.
So I don't know.
As in, did more come into the stock market?
Yes, did more come into the stock market? Share people buy? Were they well appreciated, or they've been depreciated? How in terms of investment?
How did they perform? Okay, so I won't say that I monitored real estate companies that are listed on the stock exchange and how they performed this year. Sincerely, I won't say I monitored them. But what I noticed is that very few, I mean, in fact, it was just about one company that I know that raised money in the capital market this year. Wow. I think the raising is even still on right now. They are currently raising money in the proper capital market.
Selling shares, right?
Yes, in the proper capital market is one company that I know, and they are raising money as a REDCO, that is real estate company. You know, so that's not too many real estate company moved into the capital market to raise money by way of shares. I know a number of them raised bonds, a number of them raised commercial papers, a number of them raised some financing from means and ways by which they can raise financing from the banks and stuff like that. But that is what I know regarding capital market issues.
Engineer Debo, sorry to cut you, sir. This year, I witnessed, and I want to believe people where they are self witness, and this year I witnessed a lot of boom on the side of developers. Many houses these days, people, they, unlike before, I don't know, maybe make a call and say maybe our people, but unlike before, people, you know, they give house to developer and everybody. This year, if before you walk down a street or two, you go see say, yes, one developer they work here, one developer they work there, changing the houses to possibly something new, and waiting be the factor wey necessitate this one. And what should we expect come next year? Is it that more houses will be taken over by developers?
So what you are talking about is gentrification, really. So what is happening?
Gentrification.
Those areas you are talking about, for example, are areas that are already developed, old houses that
Yes.
people are redeveloping. So it's for economic reasons, really. So the owner of these houses, they don't have the wherewithal to
Some of them are even passed.
to build, to renovate, and all of that. Or
Some of them are passed away.
their heirs
their
don't.
children.
Their heirs don't have that, whatever. And the only economically sensible means by which they can achieve some progression in terms of their economic status as a result of owning that property is to get a developer that can help them redevelop, because the property has reached what we call obsolescence, in the sense that the rent accruing,
obsolete.
the rent accruing from that property is not seen compared to the value of the land the property is sitting on.
I believe that.
You understand?
Because they don't look their neighbors. Say,
it's nothing compared to the value of the land. So why do you? So to ensure that the land is put to
maximum use,
optimum use, they have to redevelop. Is ready for redevelopment. And the way to go about that, if they don't have the resources, is to partner with a developer on a joint venture development, outright development, as in develop to sell, or a lease development arrangement. That's it. So that you should expect more of that from these brownfield areas that have already been fully developed in time past, and the properties there are approaching or reaching obsolescence right now.
Last year, a lot of noise being gathered. People heard a lot about apartment. I don't know, maybe in the last year, the thing first happened. But this year, I wouldn't want to say dwindle, or we don't really hear much about how apartments. That's people using apartments.
Short-let, you are talking about.
Short-let. How it take fare this year, and vis-a-vis some property owners that might want to try it come next year.
Okay.
Is it advisable?
Yeah. Okay. So from research and finding reports, of course, short-let really took off just after COVID, during COVID and just after COVID. So the height of it was 2021. Okay, but a lot of it still happened this year, and has continued. Okay, has continued. It's just that now, you can say that the industry is settling in a bit, in the sense that it's clearer now what works, what doesn't work, where is the best to have your short-let property, where is not really. Because so I'm aware that a number of short-let property owners actually converted to regular rent this year also.
Why?
Why? Because maybe where they had their property, it wasn't really fetching, or serving the purpose, or fetching as much return. Yes.
Let's take John. Good morning, John. John from Lagos, good morning. Thank you. Please try call us back. So where they get them, that means say short-let safe. If person won't think of short-let, think of the economic.
Yes. Remember we had an episode on short-let. So if you're thinking of short-let, research WAB TV YouTube channel and fish out that short-let session we had, and you would get the expose on how and how short-let perform and what you should be doing if you are looking at short-let.
Okay, because we don't have the luxury of time before you go, sir, I believe say the ESF don't come to an end with that. And if we look at where the episodes we will get before the end of the year, no pass 2, that'll be max 3. So make we begin to talk about or prepare for 2023.
Yeah.
Waiting be. Okay.
The next episode, really, I want to talk about 2023.
Okay.
But I think we should just wrap up 2022 by saying, a few other things still came up. Smart homes became vogue.
Smart home?
Smart home.
Yes.
The smart home
go enter.
Light could come. Water will come. Or from your office, you can set up and say something should be happening by the time you go there. Or as somebody is coming in, you can see them, you can see the plate number, you can see everything, before they even get to your door. No, you don't touch the door before it opens, no contact doors and all of that. Of course, a number of them. Of course, you see this more at the luxury end or high-end hotels, and stuff like that. No, but there are in residential properties, a number of them, offices and all of that. Yes, there are. So smart technology also grew this year, 2022. It's expected that these things would also
more come
we'll talk about a lot of things we should expect in 2023. Then don't forget the very beautiful thing that happened just about a little over a month ago, and that would impact on home ownership, is the 25% on pension, a
Yes.
contribution that you can use
Which we
towards
treat,
down
last
payment.
week.
Yes, we treated last 3
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah. So, so that happened, and that also impacted and would impact heavily, really, particularly in 2023 when it settles and that becomes really operational and people start to see the benefit of it,
The pension thing.
Yes, the pension stuff. So all of this happened and many more in 2022. That's the review. Overall, it wasn't a bad market for the real estate industry. It wasn't a bad market for the real
At least
estate
we
industry.
can score them 6/10.
Maybe something like that. It wasn't market. A lot of monies were also raised, through conventional and non-conventional methods in the real estate space. A lot of fractional investment opportunities came up whereby people get exposed and got knowledgeable. Knowledge also increased. The knowledge industry in the real estate space also increased. So you see a lot of seminars happening here and there, people getting trained both online and in person and stuff like that. So, and that impacted heavily in the real estate space. And we should expect much more next year. So our next episode will really be talking about the things that 2003 holds for real estate and how you can position yourself to really leverage and maximize your return on investment and your being a part of the property market.
Okay, thank you very much. I would say this one a really, really loaded episode now we'll get simply because from when we start till now, Debo will be take time to break them down. It take us through everything we don't share, at least to the best of our knowledge we don't share this year. We talk about building collapse, we talk about smart homes, we talk about the pension, and even they expect more. So people could tap into that one come next year when it don't they fully operational. And talk about plenty of things. We say you say you gas, and even talk about say people don't they move to all those places where we say we know they put NI before all this Mowe, Bafo, or Job, Adagri, Ikorodu. So therefore, so what are you waiting for? If you get sight for all those places, remember as one of our episodes 7 don't tell us they no be by force make you live there because people they move there now. Why not build? And when you build, most definitely you can rent it out as people they move there now. Do something now so that something no go do you later. So therefore, so my name is Chief Oludodo, and from my guy here with the
Nothing do you.
Nothing do you.
See you next week.
Use your head, come and we go.